Now we start with some breaking news from South Africa, where at least 64 people have died after a fire engulfed a block of flats overnight in the city of Johannesburg. Dozens of others were injured and rushed to hospital. Many are suffering from smoke inhalation. Firefighters were called to the 5-storey building in the central business district in the early hours. City authorities say it is unclear what started the fire. A spokesman for the emergency services has told the BBC that firefighters had been able to bring out most of the occupants. He said the fire had gutted the building and that the search for other victims was continuing. Reports suggest the occupants of the building were mostly African migrants. And we'll just take you live now to Johannesburg. We're just looking at some live pictures here at the base of that 5-storey building. And as you can see, emergency workers still clearly on the scene, fire crews there. And if you just look behind that tree, you can see smoke is still coming from that building. We're being told at the moment at least 63 people have died in that fire, mostly African migrants. Very much an ongoing situation. Police, emergency services there, and we will be following this story, this situation closely throughout the day, and we'll be bringing you any updates on this as soon as we get it. And just again, those are live pictures of the scene in Johannesburg following that fire, where we know at least 63 people have been killed. And there is plenty more information on this story as it continues to unfold. Just head to our live page on the BBC website. The death toll, of course, as we've been saying, has continued to climb in the past hour, and we will continue to provide updates as they come, including on those search efforts by emergency services. And a reminder that a spokesperson has told the BBC that firefighters evacuated the building's occupants on arrival, and the search and recovery of bodies is continuing. And let me just take you back to those live pictures there. We're just looking at, it looks like forensics on the scene there. And just what we understand now is that building, that 5-storey building in Johannesburg, was mostly occupied by undocumented immigrants, according to reports. Local reports say the area where this building is located is an inner city neighbourhood. It's infamous for hijacked buildings, a term used by South Africa to refer to buildings illegally taken over by undocumented immigrants. Now, in the wake of this fire, many South Africans on social media have condemned the online xenophobic attacks that some have made against the victims and survivors of the fire. Just a reminder, we are looking at live pictures there, a very much ongoing situation. We can see fire crews still in the area, smoke still coming from that building. And we do just have coming into us here at BBC News the head of the emergency services in Johannesburg. This is what they had to say.
Yeah, we received a call around 1:30 this morning. It's a 5-storey building which caught fire early hours of this morning around 5. On arrival, of course, there were people who were in the building which were evacuated safely outside. And while we were conducting our firefighting operation, we started also searching for some of the people who might be trapped inside the building. So far, we have recovered about 64 bodies from the building, and then 43 people were treated for minor injuries and also for smoke inhalation. They were transported to various healthcare facilities within the city of Johannesburg for further medical care. I will say so far that's where we are. Of course, we have activated our disaster management officials who will start facilitating, relief for affected residents. We've got our other city stakeholders, our chaplaincy service who are busy now conducting some trauma counseling to affected, residents who have lost their loved ones here. So I would say that is the situation where we are. And as soon as we are done with our search and recovery operation, we will hand over this incident to the South African Police Service. It is a sad day indeed, but we have reassured our residents that we will do our best to assist them to find closure, make sure that all the floors are cleared for any outstanding body which might still be trapped inside the building. The numbers, the chances are very much high that people might still be trapped there. Hence, we all the time when we give you an update, we say there's a high chance that the numbers might still increase. So that's where we are now. So we'll make sure that we clear all the floors, and we are discouraging the residents around here to go back to the building because we don't know about the structural integrity of the building, so it might be very much dangerous for them to go back there. Hence, we're discouraging them to try and take a chance to go there and then try and maybe salvage some of the things, their belongings inside the building.
The head of the emergency services there in Johannesburg. I want to take you back to those live pictures there of the scene. We're just at the base of that 5-storey tower where we know at least 64 people were killed in a fire overnight. Authorities so far saying, although so many on the scene, as you can see, firefighters there, they've been working for hours, still say it's unclear what started this fire. But what they're saying is it has totally gutted the building. We're just going to cut away from that footage at the moment. We'll try and return back to it in a moment or so. But emergency services saying that building has completely been gutted, and reports mostly this building was occupied by undocumented immigrants, and most of them African immigrants. And there we go, we're just heading back to those live pictures, and as we were hearing from the head of the emergency services there, this very much an ongoing situation. Of course, people wanting to head back into that building to grab some of their belongings if they can, but we saw a little earlier from those live pictures, just as the camera zooms out there, you can still see damping down is being done, smoke still coming from that building as the death toll there sadly continues to rise. And we'll be keeping across that here on BBC News. And a reminder, you can head to our website. We've got live reporting there on our live page as we get more and more information on that fire in Johannesburg.